Good morning, students. This is English class for class 12. I am here with the lesson Evans Tries an O Level by Colin Dexter. Characters of the story are Evans, the protagonist of the story. Full name James Roderick Evans. He is a young prisoner, also known as Evans the Brick, because he had escaped thrice from prison. The governor of HM Prison, Oxford, the secretary of examinations board, Mr. Jackson, a prison officer, he is senior prison officer, Mr. Stephens, another prison officer, he is recently recruited, the Reverend Stuart M.C. Leary, an invigilator, Mr. Carter, detective superintendent, and Mr. Bell, detective chief inspector. Students, this is a very interesting story of a young criminal. He didn't have any criminal record, but he had a problem that is of congenital kleptomania. Students, kleptomania is a disease in which a person has tendency to steal, and congenital means something existing from birth or before birth. So this was his problem, that by birth he had a tendency to steal. For that he had been sent to prison thrice and escaped from there. Now he is in prison cell of HM Prison, Oxford, in a tight security. So when he did not get any chance to escape from here, then he planned something. He was sharp-witted, he was cunning, so he made another plan to escape from HM Prison, Oxford. So one day he expressed his desire to the governor of HM Prison that he wanted to add something in his academic qualification. For that, he wanted to appear in O-level German examination. So the governor called the secretary of examinations board to talk about Evans' case, and governor told him about Evans, that he was a prisoner in prison cell of HM Prison, Oxford, and he wanted to clear it whether he could be given opportunity, means Evans could be given opportunity for the examination or not. But the chief of secretary did not get any reason to deny, means he accepted that he should be given opportunity to appear in O-level German examination. But dear students, I already told you that it was planned. In reality, he did not want to improve his academic qualification. He did not want to add anything in his academic qualification. So for that he was provided a teacher, tuition teacher. German teacher used to come to prison cell to teach him, and he had been taking this class since September. It was month of March, and the governor said that the exam could be conducted in prison cell. Secretary warned him that there should be special precautions. For that, the prisoner should be kept away from communication. Now, come to the lesson. You can see at your book, the lesson starts with, all precautions have been taken to see to it that the O-level German examination arranged in the prison for Evans does not provide him with any means of escape. It means that he had a record. He had escaped thrice from prison cell. Now, the prison authorities of HM Prison, Oxford did not want to take any risk, did not want to take any chance in case of Evans. So there was tight security. All the precautions have been taken for the conducting of the examination. It was in early March when the secretary of the examinations board received the call from Oxford Prison. Means in the month of March, the governor of HM Prison, Oxford, called the secretary of examinations board to talk about the case of Evans. It is a slightly unusual request, Governor, but I don't see why we shouldn't try to help. Just the one fellow, you say. The secretary asked that is there only one fellow, means Evans, and he did not get any reason that he should keep away Evans from examination. That is it. Chap called Evans started night classes in O-level German last September. Means he started his German class. He had a tuition teacher for German language since last September. So he said he is dead keen to get some sort of academic qualification. Means he is very interested. He is very eager to add something in his academic qualification. That's why he expressed his desire, he expressed his wish to appear in O-level German examination. Is he any good? The secretary asked the governor, is he any good? Means is Evans good? He was the only one in the class, so you can say he had individual tuition all the time. Really would have cost him a packet if he had been outside. Means he was the only student, so doesn't matter he is good or bad. He was given tuition, private tuition in prison cell, and it would have cost him a lot if he had got this tuition outside the prison cell. Well, let's give him a chance, shall we? That's jolly kind of you. What exactly is the procedure now? The governor asked the procedure for the examination, and secretary replied, oh, don't worry about that. I'll be sending you all the forms and stuff. What's his name? You say, Evans. The secretary wanted to confirm the name of the examinee, name of the candidate. Is it Evans? James Roderick Evans was his name. It sounded rather grand. Just one thing, Governor, he is not a violent sort of fellow. Is he? I don't want to know his criminal record or anything like that. But the secretary asked if Evans had any criminal record. Actually, he did not want to check his history, but he wanted to know something about him. No, there is no record of violence. Quite a pleasant sort of chap. Means Evans is a pleasant boy. They tell me, bit of card, really one of the stars at the Christmas concert. Imitations, you know the sort of thing. Mike Yarwood stuff. No, he is just a congenital kleptomaniac. This was his problem. Congenital means by birth or before birth. Kleptomania means a disease in which a person has tendency to steal. So this was problem of Evans. Evans, although was prisoner, he didn't had any criminal record, but had problem of congenital kleptomania. That's all. The governor was tempted to add something else. Means governor wanted to tell something more about Evans to the secretary, but he stopped himself. He checked himself, but he thought better of it. He would look after that particular side of things himself. Means he cleared it that Evans didn't have any criminal record. He had only one problem, that is congenital kleptomania. Means he had tendency to steal things since his birth. Presumably, said the secretary, you can arrange a room where? For examination, he needed a room. So he asked the governor if he could arrange a room. The governor replied that the prisoner is already in a prison cell, means room. So there is no problem. No problem. He is in a cell on his own. If you have no objections, he can sit the exam in there. The secretary said, that's fine. And we could easily get one of the persons from St. Mary Mags to invigilate, if that's fine. Yes, they seem to have a lot of persons there, don't they? The two men chuckled good naturedly, and the secretary had a final thought. At least there is one thing, you shouldn't have much trouble keeping him incommunicado, should you? Means the secretary of examinations board warned the governor of HM prison to keep the prisoner, to keep the examining away from communication. The governor chuckled politely, means laughed politely once more, reiterated his thanks, and slowly cradled the phone. Evans the brick, as the prison officers called him. Prison officers called him Evans the brick. The reason is clear, because 3 times he had escaped from prison before this. Thrice he had escaped from prison, and but for the recent wave of unrest in the maximum security establishments up north, he wouldn't now be gracing the governor's premises in Oxford. Means governor was sure that he would not try, means Evans would not try to escape from here, because there was tight security, maximum security establishment. And the governor was going to make absolutely certain that he wouldn't be disgracing them. Not that Evans was a real burden, just a persistent nagging presence. Although Evans was not a burden for prison authorities, governor and prison officials, but his presence was a disturbing one, troubling one for them. Always they were in fear that he might try to escape from there. He would be all right in Oxford, though the governor would see to that, would it see to personally. And besides, there was just a possibility that Evans was genuinely interested in O-level German. Just a slight possibility, just a very slight possibility. At 8:30 p.m. on Monday, June 7, Evans' German teacher shook him by the hand in the heavily guarded recreational block just across from Deaving. It was the day and date, Monday 7 June, time 8:30 p.m. when his German teacher bade him adieu, shook him by hand and departed from there. Guten Glück, Herr Evans, means good luck. Pardon, I said good luck for tomorrow. Oh, thanks. I mean, your dang son, you haven't a cat in hell's chance of getting through. Of course, but before leaving the prison cell, the German teacher warned Evans that there was even not least possibility of escape from here. So don't try. At 8:30 the following morning, Evans had a visitor, 2 visitors in fact. He tucked his grubby string vest into his equally grubby trousers and stood up from his bunk. Bunk means sleeping berth. Smiling cheerfully. Morning, Mr. Jackson. This is indeed an honor. Who was Jackson? Jackson as a prison official, senior prison official. So he visited the prison cell where Evans was, and Evans in his honor stood up and wished him good morning. Jackson was the senior prison official on Deaving, and he and Evans had already become warm enemies. At Jackson's side stood Officer Stephens, a burly, surly looking man only recently recruited to the profession. So there were 2 prison officials, Mr. Jackson, who was senior one, and Stephens, who was recruited recently. Jackson nodded curtly. And how's our little Einstein this morning then? Wasn't a mathematician, Mr. Jackson? This conversation between Evans and Jackson. I think he was a Jew, Mr. Jackson. Evans' face was unshaven, means he hadn't have shaving, and he wore a filthy looking red and white bobble hat upon his head. Give me a chance, Mr. Jackson. I was just going to shave when you burst in. Evans said that give me a chance, give me some time for shaving, because I was just going for shaving when you came in. Means Jackson came in. Which reminds me, Jackson turned his eyes on Stephens. Make sure you take his razor out of the cell when he is finished scraping that ugly mug of his. Clear? One of these days he will do us all a favor and cut his bloody throat. This was warning by Jackson for Stephens that keep eyes on Evans. After shaving, you have to take his razor back. Mrs. Stephens had to take his razor back. Otherwise, he may cut his throat. For a few seconds, Evans looked thoughtfully at the man standing ramrod straight in front of him. A string of Second World War medals proudly paraded over his left breast pocket. Mr. Jackson, was it you who took my nail scissors away? Evans had always worried about his hands. And your nail file too. Jackson had taken his nail scissor and nail file. That's why Evans considered him his enemy. Look, for a moment Evans' eyes smoldered dangerously. Means it was burning. There was anger in his eyes. But Jackson was ready for him. Orders of the governor Evans. He leaned forward and leered, his voice dropping to a harsh, contemptuous whisper. You want to complain. Jackson cleared that he had taken his nail scissor as well as nail file only because it was the order of the governor. And Evans looked at him contemptuously, means hatefully. Evans shrugged his shoulders lightly, like this. This crisis was over. You have got half an hour to smarten yourself, Evans, and take that bloody hat off. Me? Hat? Evans put his right hand lovingly on top of the filthy woolen and smiled sadly. Do you know, Mr. Jackson, it's the only thing that's ever brought me any sort of luck in my life. Jackson ordered Evans to remove his filthy hat. But Evans said, putting his hand over the hat, that it is my lucky hat. I can't remove it. This is the only thing that brought luck for me, good luck for me. So how can I remove it? I'm just going to take my examination. Kind of lucky charm, if you know what I mean. And today I thought, well, with me exam and all that. Buried somewhere in Jackson was a tiny core of compassion, and Evans knew it. When Evans said that it was his lucky hat, he should not be forced to remove the hat, then Jackson did not compel him. Jackson did not force him to remove the hat, and this was the point where Jackson commits a mistake. That's all, students. Thanks.